All right, man. CGA Sports back in here with the NFL preview, week 5 preview. We are back, and we got some great games for you lined up today. Thank you for joining me here live on the CGA Sports channel. And you can join me on the replay. It don't matter. We got a great week of football ready to go, and we got a great week of sports ready to go. In my opinion, we got the Super Bowl preview matchup here. As you know, I predicted the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. But the Eagles versus the Dolphins, I'm going to tell you, this is an intriguing matchup right now, and this will knock one of these teams out of my top 4, depending on who wins here. We'll give you a prediction on who wins right now. Okay, week 6 was a little bit unpredictable. The NFL got turned upside down on its head, most definitely with the 49ers losing, the Eagles losing, 49ers losing to the Browns, Eagles losing to the Jets. NFL scoring is down. You're going to tell by the over and unders that we show you up later here. There's only one game where the over is over 50 points, and scoring is down. And one person did point out that scoring is usually down earlier in the season, and then as the games pick up, offenses adjust to the defenses. You might see some scoring back up, but even in college football, scoring back down. All right, a lot of over-unders in the 30s and the 40s, making it difficult for you to put some money down here. There's actually one NFL game, I believe, where the over-under is under, it's 37.5 points. 37.5 points, and there's 2 games, as a matter of fact, where the over, actually 3, 37.5 points, with one being Raiders and the Bears. We're going to talk about that. And the Raiders quarterback problems over here, man. Listen, you must be excited if you have an NFL team that has a bye this week. You definitely are excited because you won't take an L this week. And that's going to be the Carolina Panthers, winless so far. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowgirls or Cowboys, Houston Texans, New York Jets, and the Tennessee Titans, all with byes this week. All right, so they won't be taking any L's, and I'm pretty sure the Panthers and the Titans are happy about that. The Jets, their momentum is going to be ruined by taking this bye, all right, and they're going to be in a bind by next week because you got a couple of games coming up that are interesting for the Jets. But anyway, man, do me a favor, hit the like button on this stream. And thank you for joining me on the new and improved CGA Sports channel. We're going to give it about a week, and then we're going to go hardcore. I ain't got nothing else to do, so we're going to be making CGA Sports daily videos at some particular point. We'll get consistent with it, and they won't be daily live streams, but I'll insert some sports news as I see it, short form videos that you can watch, digest real quickly throughout your day, maybe doing a preview or a review of a game or any sports news. Appreciate y'all for letting me do this, and we are on our way to monetization over here. And it's a good day. But anyway, let's get into the NFL games. We got week 7 here. Let's review real quick. The New Orleans Saints just cannot get it together. The New Orleans Saints will review Thursday Night Football here. The New Orleans Saints goes down at home against the London Jaguars. And you got to admit, the Jaguars, depending on how you look at it, man, they had a tough schedule. They played 2 games back-to-back in London. They I don't think they've had a home game, a traditional home game, for at least going on 3 to 4 weeks. They go into New Orleans, and they get a W. All right. And the New Orleans Saints is one of these teams that I had as a sneak in for the playoffs, and they have everything working for them. Derek Carr is Derek Carr. The Boo Birds are already out on Derek Carr, which is something that he's familiar with. The offense is stagnant. They had a chance to tie the game. After coming back and tying the game previously, they had a chance to tie the game there at the end. Foster Moreau drops the ball in the end zone, an easy play, leading to question marks for the New Orleans Saints. They still got time, though, but time is running out, man. You can't make that many mistakes, especially at home. And the Saints go marching off, and the Jaguars are a team to be reckoned with. Hopefully they don't peak too early, and they're getting themselves in prime position in that very, very soft, SAWFT, soft ass division that they're in, which is going to be winnable with the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud gaining momentum. But the Saints right now are underachieving. I think the Jags are overachieving right here. And even when you look at statistically Derek Carr, 300 and that Derek Carr is doing what Derek Carr does. All right. He throws 300-yard games, nickels and dimes. He makes good decisions. The thing is, he can't scramble. Okay. He can't run. He's injury prone. And, if people aren't wide open within 3 or 4 steps, ain't nothing going to happen. So he's a check down Charlie ass quarterback. I like the guy, but listen, when he scrambles, he's very fragile. So you're going to have some very good receivers and running backs to be able to make plays for him. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Unathletic would be a great way to describe him. And he throws it away all the time. He throws it away. If the guy's not open within 3 or 4 steps, he's going to throw it out of bounds, throw it at the damn center's legs, and all that stuff. He's going to kill plays. So good leader. He knows how to play the game. He's going to be a great coach one day, maybe a GM, but I think he's just not the type of quarterback that you need in the league right here. You're broken down Carr. All right. But anyway, big up to the Jags, and let's get to the previews for this week's games, man. We got to watch out for the Jaguars. We're going to start off with the NFC South Division contest. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers wearing the creamsicle yuck uniforms last week didn't have much luck. But you also have the Dirty Birds, the STI Birds. This will be an interesting division matchup. This is going to help the Saints' case because one of these teams are going to lose in a tight divisional race. And you got the Dirty Birds, STI Dirty Birds with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And let me just give you an idea what the spread is. This is a toss-up, in my opinion. This is a toss-up game. And let me see what the spread's looking like. They're talking about Buccaneers favorite. You got to give the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whatever the hell his name is. All right. Anyway, names slip my mind all the time. All right. I'm in the bind when it comes to names. The Buccaneers are favorite, and the favorite, he's really a good quarterback. I don't think they gave him enough time in Cleveland. They got rid of him. You saw what he did when he came back with the Rams. And he actually beat the Raiders. He didn't do too bad. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Baker Mayfield. I think he's a solid quarterback, and he's actually a good fit in Tampa. Kind of hidden away and, written off. But I think he's a solid quarterback. Is he a championship quarterback? I don't think he's a championship quarterback. If I line up Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr, who am I taking? I mean, this is a good, solid question here. You taking Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr? Derek Carr is going to give you the stats. He's going to be top 5 or 10 in passing efficiency, yards, maybe touchdowns versus interceptions. Derek Carr statistically is going to be the better quarterback. But Baker Mayfield is a playmaker. He can scramble. He can actually make some decisions outside the pocket. He can extend plays for wide receivers. So it's one of those questions that you have statistically. Baker Mayfield is not going to be the quarterback that you would draft first if you look at the statistics. I mean, Derek Carr's got all the stats, but Baker actually gives you a chance to win games. All right, he gives you a chance to win games. Now, the thing is, the next week, the next week, he going to lose the game, right? So, the same play that he won you a game with next week could be the same play he loses a game with. So that's what you're going to have to take. You have to give and take right there. All right. It's one of those things. Somebody says, I've seen enough of Carr. I'm sorry. He's horrible in the red zone. He's horrible even on the other side of the field when you're trying to he's Mr. 3 and out. And somebody says Carr will probably be the third or fourth best Raider quarterback of all time. I think so. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think if he has a good, solid relationship with the Raiders, he could be Mr. Raider for a long time. Raiders don't have a good tradition of quarterbacks. I know people are going to be mad at me when I say that. If you're a Raiders fan, you're going to think, oh, what, Jim Plunkett? You're going to think of all the great Raider quarterbacks that we've had. Yeah, but I mean, Derek Carr statistically is going to beat all of them. But he ain't got no Super Bowl, I like him, but he's limited. And to be fair about Derek Carr, enough about Derek Carr today, but to be fair, he's injured. He's been injured for the last 7 years. Like, he's had a neck, he's had a back, he broke his leg. I don't think he's healthy, to be honest with you. But anyway. But I draft a quarterback. Probably not, unless it's one of the tops. One, I would not draft a quarterback. But I got the Tampa Bay Yucks here with the win over the STI Dirty Birds. Let's go with the Buccaneers. Let's go with the Yucks here. That's where we're going to go. They're 2-point favorite here in this game. Hey, over under is at 37.5 points. Points are at a premium here. What is going on with the NFL scoring? We got 37.5 over and under combined points. I mean, what is this? What is this? It's going to be the Dust Bowl? What is this? A 10-yard fight? All right, this is crazy. They're not expecting a lot of scoring in this game. And, you know what? That Ritter quarterback, people are talking very positively about the Ritter guy. I haven't seen him play, just to be fair. I haven't seen him play. I want to get a chance to see him play. But I don't, people are confident in him. Actually, the coach of the Falcons is very confident that Desmond Ritter can get it going there. But listen, I haven't seen him enough to see it. Oh, people think he's overrated. Give me overrated, underrated. Give me your impressions of Ritter. Is he a championship quarterback? Is he an average quarterback? Is he overrated? He decent? Okay. All right. I got the yucks going over the STI birds. STI dirty birds. He's soft. Uh-oh. Straight field goal. All right. He's soft. Overrated. Okay. I can't wait to see him. I'm going to get a chance to see him. We got the early game for the Raiders. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'll get a chance to see him. Speaking of the Raiders, let's get to them right quick. Speaking of quarterbacks also, we got some problems. He's a backup that's starting. Yeah, I think they probably would like a better quarterback than they got. Let's talk about the Raiders and the Bears. The Bears are terrible. They're absolutely atrocious. I think they're playing definitely to get a quarterback. Justin Fields is a failed experiment. It just didn't work out for him there. Perhaps he might need a change of scenery to revive his career. He could probably do pretty decent in another organization. The Bears organization is just completely a dumpster fire. And I'm sure no quarterback coming out of the NCAA wants to go to the Chicago Bears. Absolutely tragic. Now, the Raiders coming off of 2 consecutive wins. We on a winning streak, beating the Green Bay Packers and then also beating the New England Patriots. These wins are nothing to write home about, but they're better than losses. The Raiders coming off a Jimmy Garoppolo injury have to decide who they're going to go with. All right, who they're going to go with that quarterback. And they couldn't decide. We have Aiden O'Connell, which is a decent rookie quarterback. I think he's going to be solid. This is one of the reasons I would not draft a quarterback at this point. But if we're in position to do so, we could do so. Aiden O'Connell could be a future Raiders quarterback. And then you have Hoyer with the former, the veteran, the KG veteran Hoyer, which is, this is going to be a tough one for us. It's sad that we're going in with this much momentum, but too many question marks at quarterback. I think we'll see both quarterbacks in this game. Brian Hoyer, I believe he's going to get the early hook. If he's not getting the offense to move down the field, he's going to get the hook. AOC will be in probably by second quarter or halftime. All right. If the offense is stagnant, and we'll get a chance to see both quarterbacks in this game. Definitely. And I think this should be a win. Raiders favored by 2.5 points. And again, I think this is another game where the over-under is 37.5 points. You have two offenses that are struggling. Raiders haven't scored over 21 points, I believe, all season. I think all season they haven't scored over 21 points, if I'm not mistaken. So two stagnant offenses, two offenses going nowhere, unfortunately. But I think the Raiders could dominate this game, and they should dominate this game. All right. Somebody said get Justin Field. The Raiders are Patriots. Like that's what they've been saying, the Las Vegas Patriots, for a long time. And I think that the coach, I'm going to give you my impressions of the coach here after I do these super chats. I appreciate the super chats. TJ says, hey guys, hope everyone is doing good. I hope everyone's doing well as well. And shout out to the Midwest's finest is in the building. Thank you for your super chat on this one. Brian Hoyer, I don't think Brian Hoyer probably intended that he was going to start. He's one of those backups that probably is like, why am I here, bro? I'm here to collect my backup quarterback check, which is one of the best checks you can get. I would love to be a backup quarterback. I would love to be a backup quarterback. I would love to be. That's a great ass job. You get 2 to 5 reps in practice per week. You know what I mean? You just throwing the ball. You just playing catch all week. You're reviewing film sessions. You're in your 12th year. You're getting your pension, whatever you're doing. You don't get to get tackled or hit. You're running scout team plays. I mean, Jesus. I want the backup quarterback job. What is he getting? I want the backup quarterback job. With the job, especially when your quarterback position is solidified. I would love to be a backup. Kicker is a good job too. Too much pressure though, because you got to go in and kick. You know what I mean? Like you got to go in and pay attention to the game. Oh shit, I need a 54-yarder. I don't want that. I don't want that job. Backup quarterback, even if you get in the game and your quarterback goes down for a play or two, you handing the ball off. You handing it off, right? Right. You're not going to go in there and have to throw a bomb. You don't have to come back. You know what I mean? You just get your play. I'm in there for a couple of plays, handoff over here, pitch that way, but kicker and punter, you're still in the game. You still can get hit. I want a backup quarterback job. You can make some money there. All right. What do we got here? We got another super chat, Jeff, the producer in the game. All right. So I got Raiders over Bears in this game, and it should be a blowout. But again, the Raiders never blow anyone out. So it's going to be difficult to figure out what type of blowout that's going to be. Is it going to be under 37 points? Is Justin Fields playing? That's the other question. I think he's out with the thumb. He dislocated his thumb. I don't think he's playing either. Yeah, 37.5 under. Yeah, I think so. Could be. Long snapper's a good job too. All right. No Justin Fields. Absolutely tragic. J Flo says, I'm in Vegas, coach. I got my parlays in for college, and I'm throwing down 100 for the Raiders to cover. He says, if I can I'll get you on Monday. I don't know what that last part. Oh, if I win, I'll get you on Monday. Shout out to you, man. Hopefully you get that dub. All right. So what do we got next? What's the next line item? What's the next game up for bid here? Oh, the Browns and the Colts. Bad news for the Indianapolis Colts. I know you guys were excited for your quarterback, but Anthony Richardson is out for the season. All right, Anthony Richardson, the rookie quarterback from Florida, if I'm not mistaken, out for the year. And you have Minshew in here for looks like the remainder of the season against the Cleveland Brown defense that really stifled the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, you know what I mean? I don't think Minshew planned on playing this year, but now he's playing. He's better upgrade his playbook, because the playbook is geared towards Anthony Richardson, obviously. And this is actually good for Anthony Richardson. I think hopefully he's not a devastating injury. I don't like rookie quarterbacks starting at all, but he was looking pretty good. I got Cleveland Browns in this game. It's going to be an ugly one. Is this game under 32? Let me see here. It's 40.5 over and under. Browns favored by 3.5 points right here. And I'm looking at this game going the Cleveland Browns way because they have momentum. And if they can pick up that momentum, shut down the 49ers, and then come in and beat the Colts, could be an easy win. Should be an easy win for the Colts, unless Minshew shows up with this mustache, this Fu Manchu, and comes in and beats the Colts. Beats the Browns. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough to see a guy go down that early. But listen, it doesn't matter how good you are. The reality is the NFL is a different game than college. You got to be physically mature enough to handle a lot of the things, the hits, even the little hits, even the hits when you throw the ball, the pressures, or your body's going to go through a beating, I'm pretty sure, compared to when you're playing at a big-time college program and you have great offensive linemen. You got 6'4", 320, 340-pound linemen, and you could just stand back there tall and throw the ball around, barely get any pressure. All right, 5 games a year. He hasn't played a lot of games in college. So, you know what I mean? You start taking some hits. That body's going to get punished. These men are trying to punish you out here. Mask Man says, CGA, what's the worst franchise in the NFL all time? Interesting there, all time. It's the worst NFL franchise all time. He suggests the Detroit Lions or the Cleveland Browns. All-time worst franchise. Oh, man, that's a tough one. Detroit can go up there. I mean, they haven't competed at all since the AFL NFL merger. They haven't competed at all. Neither really has the Cleveland Browns. Gosh, I mean, some of these franchises also have won Super Bowls, but I think they've been poorly run for a long time. Chargers haven't done jack squaddle. The Chargers haven't done anything. All right, Chargers can go down as one of the worst run franchises of all time. I mean, I got to look at the Bears for a long time. They've skated by to get 2 Super Bowl appearances in the last 50, 40 years, but they barely done anything else. The Detroit Lions, the Jets are horribly run all time. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns came back from the original Browns, so I'll give them a pass. The original Browns probably were run pretty decently, although they had no Super Bowl appearances. Oh, man. The Bengals could go up there as well. One of the most horribly ran franchises out there. The Bengals can go up there as well. But they've snuck in a couple of Super Bowl appearances as well to kind of push that to the side. I'm going to say the Lions. Let's go with the Lions. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have been pitiful. The Detroit Lions have been a pitiful organization, even with, you can say Megatron, even with Barry Sanders. You've had really horrible drafts. Their defense, I mean, they've been horribly run, the Detroit Lions. Let's give it to the Lions. The Cowardly Lions. They have definitely been the worst performing franchise and managed. Just think of their quarterbacks over there. And then the sad part about the Lions is they lose their quarterback to the Rams, and then he goes and wins the Super Bowl over there. I mean, the Saints have had their moments, but no Super Bowl appearance. Well, no, I'll take that back. They did win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowardly Lions. The Cowardly Lions. Yeah. And right now they're winning, so people are going to be like, I'm jumping down their neck. All right. And somebody says the Raiders they have 3 championships, and they never should be considered the worst because they dominated pretty much the 70s, 80s, and the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay. They have been potentially bad since the year 2002. So the last 20 years have been absolutely terrible. But as an overall, they cannot be considered the worst. All right. Anyway, let's get back to these games. Good question right there. Did I get that? That was somebody said the Buffalo Bills. Man, the Buffalo Bills. I think they're one of these franchises that probably would never really win in today's modern football. They probably have no chance of winning in today's modern football. They're just they're in a bad location. They have a great loyal fan. They're kind of like the Packers. The Packers only won, Ron Wolf, and they had the coach there. I can't remember the coach's name. That came from San Francisco as a coordinator. And then they had Reggie White, Charles Woodson, Desmond Howard. They had luck at quarterback with Brett Favre. And I think the Packers and the Bills are 2 teams that they're not in great positions to win or be competitive at all. Like, how do you win in these small markets like that? Mike Holmgren is the guy. So I think they had a great run, and much of it was luck. Much of it was good planning. They luckily got Reggie White to leave Philadelphia and God sent them to Green Bay. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, so for them to be performing the way they perform as one of the oldest teams and in a small market, it's amazing. And Buffalo Bills have the same problem. They have the same problem, but they've been ultra competitive to be where they are, in my opinion. Somebody says, what's the best run? The Steelers. I think the Steelers, in terms of coaching decisions and loyalty and loyal fan base, has got to be one of the best run because they're a family still ran organization. They've only had 4 coaches in 40 something years, maybe 50 years, 4 head coaches. That's unbelievable in this day and age. All right, let's get back to these games. All right. And they've been competitive. And thanks to the Raiders, they actually are a legacy franchise because of the Raiders. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get to these games. All right, here we go right here. We got the Giants. How do they have a win? The Giants. Did I say 4 head coaches? It's 3. Yeah, they've only had 3 head coaches. Take it back. 3 head coaches. All right, in 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. That's impressive. Okay, so you got the New York Giants and the Commanders. This is the toilet bowl game of the week. Nobody cares. Giants are definitely going to lose this game. What are the Giants looking at here in terms of points? We got 2.5 point favorite. Over under 37.5. Nobody wants to see this game. Giants are terrible at quarterback, but I will say Tyrod Taylor looks great with this offense. I definitely need a toilet bowl flush down. I'm going to get my show prepared here. I think Commanders should win this game and get them going to have an impressive 4-3 record, way better than they should be. And they should not have any problems here with this game, with this team. Both of these games right here are terrible. All right, absolutely terrible. Let's get to the next game here on the feature. There's nothing even need to be said about these games. Oh, potential Super Bowl preview. We got 3 games this week that are hot. We got a potential Super Bowl preview here if all things falls in place. You know, you got a luck of the draw in the playoffs. I got Detroit Lions right here, the Cowardly Lions. They're good. They're the mighty, mighty Lions this year. And they got some momentum, and they're playing a down bad team. Let me do this. They're playing a down bad team. All right. Down bad. The Ravens are down bad. And they're luckily got 4 wins. They probably could be 6-0. They probably could be 6-0. I mean, have they really got blown out this year? I don't even think they've really been blown out. All of the injuries they've had. Let me see who they lose to. Oh, yeah, they lost to the Steelers. They should have won that game, though. And they lost to the Colts by 3. I mean, the Ravens could be 6-0 right now. I mean, that's how crazy they are right there. This could be a bad game here for the Lions, but they're coming in riding high. But I'm going to tell you, man, do not get too much confidence over these Lions. Do not be too overconfident over these Lions, guys. I mean, not everybody's like ready to put them into the Super Bowl. I don't know. This could be a trap game for the Lions. I know they're thinking that they can't lose here, but they're on the road outside. All right. They're outside of the road. I would love to see this game, the results of this game. I think let's see who the favorite is in this game. Ravens are favored in this game. Right? Ravens are favored by 3 points in this game. So this could be a trap game for the Lions, and it could give everybody a reality check on who Detroit really is. And then at the end of the game, we could say they are who we thought they were. All right. Hopefully at the end of the game here. But if the Ravens get going, they haven't scored a lot of points. They haven't been moving the ball very well, over and under 43.5 points. Lions could get a reality check just like the Niners did last week and just like the Eagles did. So I got did I call this one already? Oh man, this is tough. I got Ravens with a reality check. But it does nothing for the Lions. The Lions play in a sorry ass division this year. So I'm taking Ravens over Lions. I know I was a little swayed by the favorite at home, but it's on the road for the Lions. It's on the road. Bills and Patriots. The Bills and Patriots. This is going to be a blowout. Potential shutout. Bills favored by 8.5 points. At home, Patriots limping into the season, potentially discussing firing the Hall of Fame coach, one of the best coaches of all time, Bill Belichick. Potentially everybody's taking their shots at Bill Belichick. Raiders barely passing them up, but the Bills are going to blow this thing wide open. Over and under on this game, 40 points. And I think we're looking at the Bills trying to cover 41 of those points. 41. All right. Somebody said trap game for the Bills and the Patriots. Hell no. Bills will dominate this game in New England. I thought it was in Buffalo. In New England, dominating fashion. Remember, New England got blown out 35-0 at their own home place right here. Bill Belichick right here. No, they have not fired him. They're talking about firing him. They're talking about, well, listen, to fire the guy, I don't think he deserves to be fired after one dismal season. But listen, man, time catches up to you. And the New England Patriots are done. The franchise is done in terms of their history. with their dynasty, it's over. Bill Belichick potentially wanted to prove that his system was better than Tom Brady, right? That Brady was a beneficiary of the system, and that ship is sailed. Brady's already won a Super Bowl, all right? So Brady's won without New England. Belichick has not won without Brady. Mac Jones is not the answer. They yanked him 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Patriots are done. Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, have been riding high since actually getting off to a slow start. And they're 4-2. They're going to make it 5-2 right here. And that's it. That's it. I don't think they need to fire Belichick, but if let's just say Belichick said, "No, I'm going to come back next year." All right, maybe they might push him out the door at that point, because they're going to need Belichick. All right, they're going to need Belichick to say, "All right, yeah, this is done." All right, because you can't go 1-15 here, Bill. You can't go 1-15 and decide to come back. I know you got all these Super Bowls, but you can't. No, that's not going to work. It was good. Boomers are. It was a good run, Bill. It was a good run, but we got the Buffalo Bills here. Potential blowout. Maybe the Patriots don't even get in the end zone. The Patriots may not even get in the end zone. All right, we got the next game is the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. We got two birds here going head to head. I better check what this spread is looking like, because we got 7.5-point favorite Seattle here. I think, and we have no Kyler Murray. We have no Kyler Murray. 44.5 points here. The Cardinals are going to be bad. I mean, if you're in a position of trying to make some money, the Cardinals probably going to lose almost all their games, right? So they're probably going to lose all of their remaining games. I mean, probably they're going to lose 80% of their games. You put money on the Cardinals losing. You put money line on whoever's winning. I mean, a couple of dollars in your pocket. Yeah. And so, there's an 80%, 90% chance they're going to lose the rest of their games. All right. Anyway. All right. And then they got the one win over the Cowboys, which is crazy. And their next potential great matchup is going to be week 16 with the Bears. So, this is an obvious one. I think Seattle, I don't think the Cardinals have any fight. They don't have any fight left. So it's going to be Seattle over the Cardinals. I just don't know what, point spread wise. I don't know what you do there, because you never know what's going to happen. Okay, somebody says, we got to be fair. Brady had a Bucs all-star team. I know, yeah, I mean, listen. But still, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to give them the benefit of the doubt because he won. Mask Man says, do you think running back and fullback positions are on their last leg? Fullback for sure. I think we should see more fullbacks. But I think, here's my opinion on the running backs. I think they're going to start getting real with these running backs again financially, because these quarterbacks that they've been throwing money at, I think these GMs will realize that that's not a good move. And there's been a lot of quarterbacks that have absolutely graped these franchises. I mean, jacked them. So the reason why these running backs haven't been getting much money is because people have been putting too much money into quarterbacks. And they're going to stop. They're going to stop paying these quarterbacks. They're going to stop because let me look up the top paid quarterbacks. And the Browns started this ish. They started this gangster shit. And that's the damn thanks you get. The Cleveland Browns, thanks to the Browns, they started this. Then Lamar Jackson's holdout. They gave him money. What has he done? Let me see here. Top paid quarterbacks. Then they gave the Cincinnati Bengal guy, who ain't gonna do nothing anymore. Okay, and he came back out hurt. Daniel Jones, all right, his quarterback. Let me see his money. I got the list here. Because these quarterbacks are they're robbing people. They rob them blind, and they ain't Dak Prescott's contract. Okay. Joe Burrow here is still at the top. He ain't gonna do nothing with that, right? Wait a minute. Justin Herbert's not gonna win in San Diego. Justin Herbert's not going to win in San Diego. He's a good quarterback, but he's had like 5 offensive coordinators, 3 head coaches. Please. All right. I think Patrick Mahomes deserves his money. Lamar Jackson's not going to win a Super Bowl. I already been out on that. That's not going to happen. Jalen Hurts. Okay, he got him to the championship, but is he the reason? Is he the reason the Eagles are that good? No. He got paid. Aaron got his money, but guess what? Aaron got his money, but he's now sitting out with Achilles. Look at Russell Wilson. Oh, Russell Wilson jacked the Broncos. Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson. Look at these quarterbacks they threw money at. Look at these. This is terrible. Terrible. And I believe that these owners and the people here are going to look at the money they've thrown at these quarterbacks, and they're going to make a change. It's going to take a while, though. It's going to take a while. None of these quarterbacks on these lists are going to win a Super Bowl. Actually, the only one on this list is Patrick Mahomes. The rest of these quarterbacks on this list will not win a Super Bowl. I mean, Josh Allen maybe get close, but his time is running out. He needs to win in the next year, maybe 2. All right, he only has a year left. They're already ready to boo him. None of these quarterbacks, even Aaron Rodgers, he ain't about to win one. Who's going to win? Who's going to win one? Justin Herbert's going to win. Yeah, but Aaron, he has a ring, but he's not getting another one. He ain't getting another one. The only one on this list is Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert's not winning the Super Bowl. All right, hold on for a second. Let me play this.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
Yep. Now, here's the trend that I see. The teams that win Super Bowls oftentimes has an underpaid quarterback. Now, this may not be true, but definitely the teams that have won or gotten to the Super Bowl, their quarterback was underpaid. So you're going to have Brock Purdy. He's making less than $1 million a year. Okay. Patrick Mahomes was underpaid. His Super Bowl appearances, at least his first one, he was on the minimum. He wasn't even on his current contract. Then he got in over that. You have Jalen Hurts was not on his top contract. Let's see here. There was another one that I was thinking of. Even Tom Brady wasn't making a lot with Tampa Bay when he won at Tampa Bay. Joe Burrow was not on his current contract when he went to the Super Bowl. Yep, Brady was underpaid when he took Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl, and much of New England Super Bowl. He was taking less money. So somebody maybe throw up a name where he says, I don't know about that. Remember, it's all about the squad. No. Look at the teams that have overpaid their quarterbacks. They haven't gone to the Super Bowl. Okay. The teams that have gone to the Super Bowl, their quarterbacks were not on their top. They weren't making their biggest money. They were not. They were not. And then after they won, then they got their money. Even what's his name? What's the guy's name? Anyway. Yeah, what was there's not that many cases, but I'm just saying right here. These teams are going to wise up. They're going to go, the quarterback is an important position, but if Brock Purdy goes to the Super Bowl and he wins, making $500,000 a year, right? They're going to start renegotiating these quarterbacks. They're going to be renegotiating these quarterbacks. Same thing with Tua. What was Matt Stafford making? He probably was making big money. Yeah. All right. That's just a theory. But I think the running backs probably have some say into this. They could. Let's go to the next game. Speaking of Jared Goff and the Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford probably is an exception to the rule. But by the way, that Super Bowl is an asterisk for the Rams. That Super Bowl was an asterisk for the Rams. That was an organized Super Bowl. I have my conspiracy theory tinfoil hat on. That was not a legitimate win. In fact, if you ask NFL fans about the Rams winning the Super Bowl, they'll be like, when? When did the Rams win the Super Bowl? And they just don't even remember the Rams winning that Super Bowl. They'd be like, hey, remember the Rams won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago? You'd be like, when? When? The St. Louis Rams? All right. That Super Bowl was one of the most unmemorable Super Bowls. In fact, I remember the Super Bowl that Jared Goff went to before I remember that Matt Stafford Super Bowl. That Matt Stafford, is his name Matt Stafford, whatever the hell his name is. That Stafford Super Bowl is very unmemorable. The Super Bowl Jared Goff went in and laid an egg and didn't get into the end zone was more memorable than the SoFi Super Bowl. Anyway, look. Look. Please, the Rams. Anyway, the Rams fans are upset. Like, look at them. They telling you the Rams won. Who was the, please. Look, they stacked the team at the end. They started bringing in OBJ. Absolutely terrible. Anyway. Yeah, anyway. All right, shout out to the Rams. Speaking of the Rams here, the Lambs, I call them. The Lambs. All right, NFL Lambs here. I think they get a win here. By the way, they're somewhat underrated. I always pick against them and they win. I pick against them and they win. I got them over the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't know if you know, this arena will be crowded with Pittsburgh fans. Pittsburgh fans are going to show up and show out in this game, but they cannot move the ball. They are absolutely horrid on offense. Horrid. They're horrible. I've seen them in person, and I've watched another game. They are tragic on offense. Kenny Pickett, not ready to go yet. The Rams defense is solid. A little bit old, but solid. By the way, the Rams did pick up Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they just really, really organized the Rams to win that Super Bowl. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's really near hero there. The Steelers fans are gonna show they're gonna show their ass in Los Angeles. But I got Rams here. What's the line on this game? Rams favored by 3. I got Rams. What is the over-under in this game? Over-under 43. I got Rams in this game. It might not be a pretty game. But Steelers offense is tragic. I got Rams. All right, you never know, man, with these games. Any given Sunday, as they say. Any given Sunday. Rams over Steelers. What do we got here coming up next? Oh, a potential AFC championship matchup. This is a potential AFC championship matchup right here. Even though the Chargers are 2-3, this is a must-win game. I hate to call it already. Chargers, you must win this game. All right, or it's going to get ugly for you real quickly here. You're the Chargers. You're not a team. I mean, Chargers are typically known to turn on late, get hot, and the end of the season, they can get hot. Okay. I never talk crap about the Chargers in the regular season. Really, I do, though. But listen, they're one of these franchises that always seems to start off slow and get hot. So even if they lose this game, they could get hot. I'll look at their schedule here. But you got to win this week, or else you're looking at 2-4 and potentially a Raiders looking at 4-3. All right, you can't fall 2 games behind here of the second place. Cannot. And you can't go in with a record like this. Kansas City should be favored in this game. They're favored by 5.5 points. This could be a shootout, potentially a shootout. Kansas City just picked up a wide receiver. They are weak at the receiver position. All right, but I think right now the Chargers are desperate. Oh, and their coach is one of the worst coaches in the league. This is just my opinion. I've seen way too much of this guy, and this guy is ass booty cheeks, okay? He is not a good coach in terms of making decisions. All right, I've seen them call a 4th and 1 at their own 17. Ninja, are you crazy? Then I saw him call a timeout against the Raiders to get the Raiders into the playoffs. And then they lose the position. Then what the hell? They get bounced. When the Raiders were going to go for the tie, he calls a timeout and put us in field goal range. He's made some of the most despicable decisions. Despicable. Did I say first down? Fourth down. He went 4th and 1 on his own damn 17 or 20. Bro, I see this guy make some shitty decisions. All right. Yeah, he's one of those analytic whiz kids, we call them over here. Whiz kid coaches. Man, what kind of ish? So even if the Chargers are going to be good, they still have Brandon Staley, whatever the hell his name is. All right. To overcome. They got to overcome Staley. Between him and the Raiders coach, both of these whiz kids need to go. Whiz kids. All right, man. But listen, the Chargers can do some things if Herbert gets crazy. Oh, by the way, the Chargers offense is stacked. Their offense is stacked. They're stacked with Eifert, whatever the hell his name is. All right. He got his helmet smacked off of him. They're stacked at tight end. They're stacked at receiver. I mean, they're good everywhere around on the offensive end. They're solid. I don't know why they don't do nothing. But it is what it is. Their coach is bad. Yeah, Miami has a whiz kid too. For a coach. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't think they have a chance really to beat Kansas City at home. Maybe on the road. Maybe on the road, but not at home. The Chargers too light-skinned to be good. The Chargers are too light-skinned. All their receivers, they whole backfield is light-skinned. They got too many light-skinned. But that's always been the Chargers. They always had light skins. They need some darkies out there. It's like what's his name? They need some LaDainian Thomases out there, whatever his name is. LTs. They need some Tomlinsons, whatever the hell his name. We need some Antonio Gates back out there. They got too many light skins out there. The Chargers play on their tippy toes. They play on their tippy toes all game long, and they be like, "Don't touch me. Oh, you breathed on me." What's the receiver's name for the Chargers? That light skinned receiver. They be like, "Oh, you touched me too much." Oh, yeah, that's how they play. They play with their pillow. They play with tissue paper in their pants, so when they fall down. They need some Samoans. Yeah, Keenan Allen. They need some Samoans and some dark-skinned ninjas back. They might do something. They be like, we just gonna throw the ball. We gonna throw the ball long. Oh, throw it. All right. Crying all the time. They be crying. What was the quarterback? Oh, I'm bad with names. The one quarterback they had, number 17, Phillip Rivers. Oh, man, I could not stand that guy. As a player, not as a person. I cannot stand Phillip Rivers always crying. Oh, my God. Oh, you're doing. Oh, Phillip Rivers. Oh, always crying. Ugh. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. As a professional opinion here, Kansas City rolls over the Chargers. All right. And Chargers got to be one of the poorly ran franchises in the NFL history. In history. Matter of fact, 0 Super Bowl wins. Must I remind you? Another toilet tank game right here. Green Bay Packers versus the Denver Broncos. Oh, right here. Right here. The Denver Broncos. Right here. Here we go. Right here. Right here. This game is terrible. Denver is not going to win this game. But Green Bay is boo-boo. I don't know what to say here. Packers favored by 1.5 on the road. Over under 47. Over under 45 points here. Again, a game nobody cares about, only to make fun of Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson manages to win this game, he can get everybody from stop booing him. But let me tell you, they about to boo the ish out of the Denver Broncos if they do not look good in this game. These fans have had it, okay? These fans have had it with Russell Wilson. They've had it with Sean Payton. They've had it with this organization. This was once a very proud organization. I've never really seen them lose like this. They've always been competitive, but I like to see it because they're in the AFC West. And this only helps the Raiders get pushed through, even with a decent record. Might be able to get into some playoffs. All right, but the Vans are gonna go crazy if they lose this game. And you might now see they're gonna talk about sitting Russell. And they're gonna have to sit him down. They cannot continue to play him. Who's their backup? Oh, they do have the backup from the Raiders last year. You know, me with names. Let me see here. Denver's QBs. I think we should have went with him a little bit. We should have went with him last year. You see what the Broncos depth chart looking like at QB. Yeah, Jarrett Stidham. Former New England Patriot Jarrett Stidham. He's actually solid. I mean, can he win you some games? I know people are going to be like, we can't blame Russell Wilson. They don't have a third quarterback. I think they just brought a third quarterback in, if I'm not mistaken. If they don't have a back, they only have two quarterbacks. Oh, Jesus. They only have two quarterbacks. Somebody says, I don't get it. Russell hasn't been bad. Now, here's the thing about that, because people are saying he hasn't been bad. And statistically, he hasn't. Most of the games that you see him in that they lose, they're 1-5. He's throwing for 300 yards. But you got to understand, a lot of those yards have been junk yards. Junk yards, meaning that the game has been over, right? The game had been long over, and this ninja just checking down the whole game. Point, bunk, bunk, bunk. I mean, most of his yardage came in the second half, and they was already losing. Fourth quarter comeback, they was now 28. They cut it to 14, and he had drives down the field. So this is my opinion of it, and I've seen them play. I've seen them play in person, and I've seen them play twice on television, because they had a lot of primetime games and games. They haven't been competitive at yardage. They haven't been competitive points and competitive drives. The game has already been over. They had no damn chance. And maybe they were coming back in the fourth quarter, but you know what I mean, to make it interesting. But nah, they're just padded yards. So you guys got to look at that when you look at his stats. Yeah, somebody said his leadership is questionable. His leadership is junk. If you watch him in the game, he's not talking to any of the players. He barely talks to the coach. He barely talks. He's in his own world out there. He's not communicating. He's not leading. He's not like, hey, guys. He's not improvising. He just runs his play. Robot. And that's where the disconnect is. So, you know, you can't just look at the stats with Russ, because I've seen him play at least 3 times, maybe 4. And I'm like, he ain't doing nothing out there. He ain't doing nothing. All right. They're not competitive yards. So I think in that case, if the Packers get up big, you're going to have them booing like crazy. I don't think Russell really cares. But then you're going to see him make a comeback, and his stats are going to be good. So anyway, he's checked out. I don't know what it is about him. I just think that he's done. But this is a great chance. This is my opinion. This is a great chance for him to make 250 large and then ride this out. I think he's ready to pivot into another life. He has nothing to prove in terms of his legacy. I think people think I'm going to ask you this. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Famer? I actually had a person tell me he was a Hall of Famer, and I looked at him like, what? Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Now, the Hall of Fame has been watered down recently. Even Deion Sanders said they need a separate segment room of the Hall of Fame. I mean, because they're letting people in as a Hall of Famer. Is he a Hall of Famer? I mean, this is an interesting question. I mean, it's tough because he has a Super Bowl. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances. You know, he could have had 2 Super Bowl rings, but they need a separate. Deion Sanders said, we need a separate hall for the real Hall of Famers here, and then the rest of the people down here. I say he's not. I say he's not a Hall of Famer. But listen, you know who's not in the Hall of Famer and surprised the shit out of me? I think Jim Plunkett is not in the Hall of Fame. Right? I think let me see something here. And I was shocked. I was like, what? And I think Jim Plunkett has one Super Bowl. Let me see if he's in the Hall of Fame. Let me see, is he in the Hall of Fame? No. He's not in the Hall of Fame. And he has a Super Bowl win. No, he has two. Jim Plunkett for the Raiders has two Super Bowls. He has one in 80. Let me see what I'm saying. He definitely won the one in the hold on for a second. I'm tripping. 80 and 83. Jim Plunkett is not in the Super Bowl. So he has it says right here he has two Super Bowl wins. I know he has one. Did he get two with the Raiders or maybe someone else? All right. Anyway, so he's not in the Hall of Fame. So I look at it and go, does a Super Bowl win get you in the Hall of Fame? The answer is no. We have Jim Plunkett not in there. So I'm looking at it right here. I'm thinking of it, looking at Russell Wilson. In my opinion, he's not a Hall of Famer. What makes him a Hall of Famer? Ocho Cinco's not in either. Yeah, man. So I'm looking at if these people are not in the Hall of Fame, I don't know how Russell Wilson gets in. I don't know how he gets in. Just saying those two Super Bowl appearances get you in. I got a Super Bowl winner with 2 rings. I don't know where the second ring comes from. I'm quite confused. Maybe was he the quarterback in 84 and 83? Maybe he was. So anyway, I don't think he gets in. But anyway, nonetheless, I think the Packers win this game. And then we're almost at the end here. Let's see here. See here. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I don't think Russell Wilson is Hall of Famer. I don't think so. But they have let in some people that are interesting for the Hall of Fame. Let's get to the game of the week here. Now we're really going to talk about it right here. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, this is the game of the week. Wait a minute. This is the game of the week. Prime time, too. Prime time. Boy, I'm going to find a way to see this game. I might have to push up my money mindset this today right here. This should be easy. I mean, this should be interesting here. Let me give you the lines. Philadelphia is favored by 2.5 points in Miami, over and under 51.5 points. This should be a barn burner. Philadelphia coming off a disappointing loss. Miami steamrolling people, although they haven't played many people, but they steamrolling everybody. Confidence off the charts. I'm going to do my money mindset, and I will have the game on over here. This is going to be a tough one for me. This is a tough pick. What are the Eagles favored by? 2.5? Oh, man, this is going to be a great game. This is going to be a slugfest. Could be a barn burner. It could be a shootout. Anything you want to say here. This is definitely a Super Bowl preview. Both of these teams could be in the Super Bowl right here. They're both in my top 4 teams. I'm going to make the call here. I got Miami Dolphins. Here. Miami, this is your chance to make yourself the legitimate front runner for the Super Bowl right here. If you get a win right here. I'm sorry, I thought the game was on Miami. It's in Philadelphia. Hold on for a second. Pause it. Pause it. I thought the game was in Miami. I take that back. Philadelphia Eagles with the win. Not only that, they're going to smack the ish out of the Miami Dolphins. Right now, Philadelphia coming out angry at Lincoln Financial Field, or whatever they're calling it today. The Philadelphia Eagles with the win. Philadelphia Eagles establish and reestablish themselves as one of the top contenders in the NFC. Okay, I had to switch it up. I got Philadelphia in this game. All right, here we go right here. This is going to be I think they're going to lay up the smackdown on Miami. This is my opinion. The Dolphins fans are irate. They're irate. All right, they got me out here switching up on you out here. I know I'm a professional.
Straight jacket.
All right. I don't think the Dolphins get it done. I think Philadelphia looks good in this game. All right. It'll be interesting. We got them right there with the dub. Let's hope everybody comes out of that game healthy. All right. And the game probably nobody cares about is going to be the Monday night game. And that's the 49ers and the Vikings. This will be a boring game. It's going to be a boring game. I don't know if Monday Night Raw is on at the same time. I'll be doing my live stream. Maybe this is a money game. San Francisco needs to bounce back. San Francisco's hurting. They're hurting. They're hurting everywhere. Injuries everywhere. Fortunately, it's the Vikings. If they can get their offense back going here, Brock Purdy's going to have to carry the show here. If 49ers lose, it's going to be dangerous territory for them. But they need to get themselves back. Debo Samuels is hurting. You also have CMC. Is he back? He said, how's the weather? They're inside. Aren't they up? No, wait a minute. Minnesota doesn't play inside. Well, their stadium is inside. It's an inside stadium, if I'm not mistaken. They moved it to an inside stadium. They have a roof on their stadium, so I don't think weather's going to come into play here. But the Vikings are one of these teams that could be dangerous. Kirk Cousins is a dangerous quarterback, but he hasn't been able to get it together. Jefferson out for looks like the next few weeks. And weather 75 degrees in Minnesota, so it don't matter. All right. No matter. I think San Francisco definitely should win this game. They're favored by 7 points right there. But San Francisco needs to get their offense together to win that game. And it could be ugly. It could be ugly for this one. Yeah, they play in the dome. I don't think the weather's going to come into play here. But, yeah, CMC is out. Boy, it could be ugly. I think they still have enough to beat Minnesota. But nobody cares about those. Nobody cares about those games. All right, so what do we got else for the rest of the weekend? We do have some UFC. Who's all out? Is Debo out too? We'll see what Brock Purdy's made of right here. We do have some good games here in the NCAA. Should we still call it the NCAA at this point? Nobody cares about this. Let me see here. College football. That's what we'll call it. Let's see here what's going on in college football. We do have Penn State, Ohio State going on right now in the top 25. We'll look at the top 25 games or the most interesting games right here. This is going to be a slugfest. Ohio State, Penn State. Right now, they can't even move the ball, can't get the ball moving right here. I got the game on. I didn't put any money on this game. Penn State is in. If they keep it close, they could win. But, of course, Penn State's used to be having heartbreak losses against Ohio State. This should be interesting right here. This should have been a shootout, but it's not. All right, so Oklahoma can't get it together. This game, I think, was plus 61. And no, they look like it's headed that way. It's 7-7, right? 5 minutes before halftime. So if you took the over in that game, you're about to take an L. We got a top 25 matchup here. We got Roll Tide in Tennessee, both coming in with 1 losses. Roll Tide can't move the ball. They can't score any points. Tennessee is solid. This would be an interesting game here. Alabama is Alabama, though, and they're playing at home. Roll Tide. Roll Tide with the win. Interesting game here for the Oregon Ducks to get back. They should smack down right here Washington State. Washington State was a good-looking team, but they don't look good right now. Oregon should get a win there, in my opinion. And we do have Utah and USC is another top 25 matchup. I got Utah. Utah's just tougher. Utah's tougher. They still don't have Cam Rising, but Utah is a tougher team, and they love to beat up on USC. I got Utah beating USC here, and USC starting the soul search to figure out who they are because they have a tough schedule remaining. I think they have UCLA, their rival, and I think they got another game that they might have coming up that might be – do they play Oregon? Let me see what's going on here. USC has Washington. They have Washington and Oregon and UCLA. USC is done if they lose this game. I don't think you guys can see my board here. I guess you haven't been seeing my board the entire time. USC is in trouble if they lose this game. They're in trouble. They're gonna fall into the damn UTEP bowl at this point. Look at all these games here. They got Utah, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA, all top ranked. This also looks like Colorado's schedule as well. This is they're about to run into a buzzsaw here. So USC better to get it together. So even if they get it together here, they're in trouble their last 3 games. They're in trouble. Yeah, super chat if you want. I still have something to cover here. And let me see if that was the only other top 25 game. Oh, no, Florida State and Duke is another top 25 game, which should be interesting. Duke quarterback is out, if I'm not mistaken. Duke's quarterback is out. And Florida State is rolling. They're better than I thought they were. They should win this game. Florida State should win this game. I don't know how pretty it'll be, but they should win this game. And I think Florida State goes on to go 7-0. Let's see what the rest of their ACC schedule looks like, because they played all the tough teams already. Yeah, they only have, wow. They got Miami and Florida here, 2 rivalry games toward the end of the season. But if they win this, they got trap games all the way down until they get to the rivalry games. They got trap games all over there. So Florida State should beat Duke because Duke doesn't have their quarterback. So that sucks for Duke. I hate to be in those positions when you're a coach and you get into a good game and you don't have all your weapons. All right, so you don't have all your weapons. Anyway. Yeah, Florida's shaky though, but the problem is it's a rivalry game. So with rivalry games, you always gotta give them an extra 3, 4, 5 points in a rivalry game. So that's the problem with rivalry games. And Miami, because people are super hype. You know, you can't really go in and say, "Oh, this team sucks." But it's a rivalry game. It's like, oh my goodness, it's the what do you call it? It's the bragging rights. It's recruiting rights. Yeah, no, man. USC does play tippy-toe as well. So that's the problem with them. All right, what do we got here? Michigan under investigation. They threw somebody under the bus. They already fired him. All right, so they found the person. They found the scapegoat. They said, oh, he was the one cheating. They already fired him. So is that going to matter going down into the playoffs? This Penn State-Ohio State game has playoff implications. But Penn State, I don't care if Penn State wins this game. They ain't going nowhere. All right, they ain't going nowhere because Penn State still has Michigan on the schedule, and who else they got? Oh, that's it. I mean, does Penn State go in? They beat Ohio State. They go in with 1 loss. They lose to Michigan. Oh, sorry, no, they win. They lose to Michigan. They got 1 loss. Are they a playoff team? Playoffs? I'm not sure, man. But look, that's our show for today. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Oh, I do have some super chats to acknowledge, so let me make sure I get all of them. Mask Man says, Florida State, let's go Noles. We are getting back to our glory days. No FSU slander will be tolerated, CGA. Shout out to you. I think for them, Florida State's in good position. I didn't think they were that good. I didn't think they were that good, to be honest with you. I thought they were overrated. Shout out to Stony Montana. Oh, we got a couple more. Let me get these brothers here. Matt Will, shout out to you. He says, ha ha. We got a whole bunch I missed. My bad. Mask Man, I got you. Mr. Antigrade, he says, we got to be fair. Brady hat. Okay, I got that one. Randy says, hashtag tank for Caleb. Is Caleb Williams going to be a good NFL quarterback? Johnny Law, quarterbacks are straight jack in the league. Only one has provided a return of investment, and that is Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion. You're on to something. Organized Truth, as a former coach, do you think these Whiz Kid coaches are ruining the league? These probability coaches are costing their teams games. I believe so too. I believe these probability coaches are just looking at cards and they're going, okay, there's a 60% chance that if I go for it on 4th down right here at our own 45, there's a 60% chance that I'll do whatever. Now, the probability coaches, the analytic coaches, there was a high school team in Northern California, very prominent high school team. I can't remember the name, But they were one of the first ones back in the day to do this probability thing, this analytics. And they never punted. They never punted. They always went for it no matter what. And their analytics was, hey, if we punt it, there's, I think if we go for it on fourth down, there's an 80% chance we'll get it. I can't remember the high school team. Anybody know the high school team? Let me know if you're from Northern California. And they started doing that. So they started never punting. And they still won, but that's not the reason they won. But it's not modern day. No, it was a Northern California team. I can't remember. But they started kind of that, hey, there's a probability that we never do it. Even the NBA, Rick Pitino was a probability coach. He would call it the new math, in which he said, if we shoot 45% from the three, that's better than shooting 50% from the inside, mathematically. So he starts saying the 3-point line revolutionizes the game. So we'll just shoot more threes than twos. Now that changed the game. It only took 20 more years for people to catch on. Oh yeah, I guess mathematically, if we shoot 45% for the three, is better than shooting 50% from the inside, right? It is like, oh shit. Is it? No, it's not Bishop Sycamore. Stop. But yeah, that's a kind of a mathematical way to approach the game. So what do you need to do? Shoot 45% from the three. You need rebounders and stuff like that. Yeah, you got to have shooters. I mean, I think more importantly, you got to have people that can offensive rebound. And you got to create turnovers. So the idea is if we create turnovers, anytime we create turnovers, we'll shoot a 3-pointer off the turnover. That's what people are doing. That's what coaches are doing. And you'll see this. Teams that press, if they get 7 extra steals or off the turnover. So they'll try to score a layup. They'll score in the mid-range. They'll score off of offensive rebounds. They'll press. Every turnover they get, they're going to shoot a 3. Watch it. And what they'll do is say, we got 7 extra possessions. Mathematically, we'll score half of those off threes. We win. All right. Anyway, it's kind of like just a new way to look at it. Shout out to J Flow. Coach, what do you think about the Las Vegas coach gang Super Bowl party next year? Ninjas just need to keep it on the low. I'm thinking of doing something like that. I just have to make sure all of my plans are in place. Stoney Montana, top 3 college quarterbacks. Oh man, there's too many quarterbacks to me. I can't think of names. So I really can't really tell you because I'm going to leave somebody out. There's just too many names out there. Billy Bean did the baseball analytic game. We call, the analytics are interesting. Takeem says, Coach, have you been to Bishop Gorman High School yet? Or do you care about high school football? I haven't. I've been to their stadium and their campus, but I haven't been to a game yet. I don't really go to high school games. I don't really plan on going to high school games. It would be interesting, but ninjas see me at a high school game. They'd be like, what you doing here? And I'll be like, I'm here to watch the high school game. Ninjas that think I'm out here recruiting for the class 2023. I can't be seen at the high school game. They'd be like, who is that man over there? I'm just standing there. Just be like, yo, man, I seen CGA at a high school football game. And I'll be like, Ninja, I'm here to watch the game. All right. Ninja, they had throw me out of here once they figure out who I am. So Ninja be sitting around like, no, just play. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be like, hey, anyway, yo, man. I can't go to high school football games like that. I'll just watch it on TV. Then just sitting up at the top of the bleachers with binoculars, like, no, hell no. Shout out to JC. What did you say? He says, I missed your Lions review. He says, we got Ravens tomorrow. I think I got Baltimore winning. I got Baltimore. So I gotta cool it on going to high school games, man. That ain't it. That ain't it. I'm a little too old for that. Like if I was a little younger looking, but nah, man. I ain't going out there for some ninja to be like, catch me looking just for a second, had me all over the internet talking to single moms and shit. Like, what's your kid's name? What's your kid? Is he on the field? No. Oh, is your kid's one of the cheerleaders? No. Are they in the band? No. Well, what you doing here?
Straight jacket.
All right. Anyway, I'm here to watch the game. Right. Anyway, I got to figure it out. I got to figure out how to sneak into the stadium, man. Look, that's going to be it. I appreciate you guys, man. Mikey Pressure came in here earlier before everybody. Shout out to Mikey Pressure. All right. I just seen that right now as I went over there, man. I'm here for the nachos. I'm here for the nachos. All right. Yes, man. And I can't look at anybody that walked past me. I'm going to be looking up like this here. I don't see nobody here. Shout out to y'all, brothers. And, of course, we out of here. Peace.